departments, and it was phenomenal. We had over 2,000 locally elected officials from across the nation collaborating in the capital city and discussing policy, attending workshops, sharing, and also advocacy work on the Hill, which in numbers is phenomenal, and mainly around infrastructure. However, some of us, also brought up some of the other items, and this coincided with the national walkout at schools. So here in Shorewood, there were students at all the schools that had walked out to say enough of gun violence, for 17 minutes. And on the Hill, you had everything from the empty shoes of all the kids, which was really moving, and also, Mothers Against Gun. I mean, there were a multitude of organizations. I was happy, I was sad to miss the Shorewood event, but happy to be there and witness this nationally. Sorry, I'm trying to be quick here. So I look forward to the continued advocacy there. I just want to also share with you guys, I did get to meet not only, I spent 2 days on the Hill, and so I got to meet with not only Senator Baldwin, but also Senator Johnson, not at the same time, at the same table, but there is a lot of overlap in some of the items, especially concerning, we're talking the infrastructure here around broadband. And as you can imagine, in the rural areas across the state, there's a need for high-speed internet, and to ensure that the corporations do not monopolize that and do not diminish the opportunities for the rural residents. It's the amount of people in the maker society that work from home and rely on internet and high speed, not only to get a job, but to sustain whatever economic or business that they have is, it's paramount. So I could go on and on about the event on the Hill, but I'll stop there. We can talk to me later on if you want. No more lobbying. This is our last Wisconsin Municipalities lobbying team on which I serve. We have one last legislative push before the end of the state legislative cycle. So anyone is welcome to join. We encourage as many elected people from across the state to join us in Madison. We're stronger in forces. Sorry, just to back up. This is just point of curiosity. Sheldon Wasserman was on my flight out to DC, and Lieutenant Governor Clayfish and Jason Fields, who's a representative, were on the way back. I mean, whenever you go to DC, you always know someone on the flight, generally a politician. Okay, two more things. Veterans Chamber of Commerce is really active in Wisconsin, and as a veteran myself, I'm really happy to see this organization thriving. And if you're not on their email list, please, you can Google it and easily get on it and see how you can attend or support or not what they're doing. And then finally, I'm going to make a plug. The parking, the $2 parking fee, I got the opportunity to experience this myself when my mother was in town before my son's performance and the SIS performance, I should say, of Schoolhouse Rock. Not the weekend, but she also stayed to watch my dog, and there was overlap when I came back from DC. And I am going to say, not only is it an onerous process to get to sign up online for this, I'm not kidding, because I'm tech savvy, and you make any little mistake in the process, and you have to start almost and completely over.
And you can't do it.
And so I had to get my computer out, my phone.
It's not Amazon friendly.
Yeah, are we going to introduce an amendment to that? I mean, are you going to bring it forward?
Well, and that right now, I would love to hear, as I stated before, I didn't support it then, I don't support it now, and it's not just because that I was aversely attracted, but I can only imagine what the residents in our town or their visitors who are older or not tech savvy, what their experience is. That I think that was probably one of our biggest mistakes as a board. So anyway, and that's it.
Okay. I would like to just mention that since you were talking about meeting with people, Becky and I did meet with Congresswoman Gwen Moore last week.
Great, how'd it go?
Hey, she gave us hugs.
I got it.
Yeah, we got it for sure. Yay, that's the
Did
best.
she send it to you, or is that on your camera? I can't remember.
No,
Okay, I haven't gotten it yet. Okay. All right. Okay, yes.
Two things from Public Works. Public Works and convened a meeting on the 13th and invited the members of the Pedestrian Bike Safety Committee. The full board got a copy, Tyler emailed out the materials from that meeting. This was regarding Lake Drive South of Capitol Air's report and as well the follow-up, I believe that was sent, was the answers to the questions, the way which paid everyone. Those were really the big outputs from that meeting, those questions. So that will, the next step, as a reminder, if you don't recall, is that on April 9th, there is the public meeting. And that will be out on the postcard that's coming out in the next week, as well as all the letters and other communication channels or mechanisms that we approved in the past. The second thing, we have been talking for 2 years, 3 years plus about Wilson Drive. We've made recently the contract approvals for
10 years, by the way, sorry.
Pardon?
Okay, go ahead.
Contract approvals for both the construction and the engineering inspection and oversight. I had been asked a lot of questions, and I've been asking a lot of questions, and just earlier this evening, our manager, Ewald, sent us a document that is Wilson Drive by the numbers, and it's just, I thought it was something that's some valuable data for each of us to have in terms of what was before and what will be, the stormwater improvements, the safety improvements, the changes in trees, the changes in parking, etc. So
Did that come out of committee? How's that in Michigan?
I've been asking questions. I said, we know it, we should put it all down on a piece of paper and share it with the board.
Thank you.
Great idea, thank you for that.
That's all I have.
I think you're on the list
Oh,
here.
yeah, Pennant Bike Safety, I missed the first part of the meeting, but basically the meeting was about planning for Pennant Bike Safety Month, which is May, correct? And we're starting off with a walk and roll to school on May 1st, and then a variety of exciting events related to pedestrian bike safety throughout the month. So it's a good time to get out and meet people and get on your bike, get your bike tuned up and
Get air in the tires.
get air in the tires.
Okay, any other?
Oh, I just wanted to make an announcement too. On Saturday, there's a march for an end to gun violence that's going to be starting, I believe, at 10 a.m. at the county building downtown. So just wanted to let
At the
you know.
courthouse?
Hmm?
The courthouse?
The courthouse, right?
Okay.
I forgot to say one thing. The back of our Shorewood Today and the community calendar, it forgot to list Election Day. So I wanted to make sure everyone knew Election Day is April 3rd, and also the fact that early voting has started. So I don't know if we can communicate that more widely, just in general when we have elections, but it has started. I think it might have been in the manager's memo.
Yeah.
Items for future oh wait.
Oh, Nathan has something he'd like to cover.
Oh, I'm sorry, I realized when the question came up about the ethics stuff, I was scrambling to grab my statutes and look at and I inadvertently wrote the wrong number down, so if anyone wanted to find it and read it later, it's actually 1959, the other one I cited is the one, it applies to a different class. And I was actually reading from the correct statute, but I quoted you the wrong number, so I apologize for that. I didn't want anybody to go back and look and say, hey, you gave us the wrong number. So it is, it's 1959, it's like for the local government officials, that applies. And again, I was reading from the correct one, I just gave you the wrong.
Don't all rush home. Oh, right on. Okay, my third attempt at a funny. I think we're done. We're ready to move on. That
You don't have any
concludes,
reports.
no, that concludes
Oh,
our
that's your
report.
report. You gave it to Nathan.
Yes.
So that takes us to items for future consideration.
One, both our bid on Wilson Drive came in so much lower than we had anticipated. And it occurred to me, we had a discussion about asphalt versus concrete, and the long term, over time, there's a lot of benefits in terms of decreased maintenance costs for concrete, and I just wondered whether we want to, seeing that we have a lot of room now in the budget, think about if that's something we'd like to consider instead of asphalt.
We would almost have to open the bids.
Have to redesign the road.
Why would you? have to-
Because the subgrade is completely different for concrete versus asphalt. All the, there'd have to be a redesign. I mean, it's not a big redesign, but just that, and then rebid it, but could be done. And it might be would be interesting to ask the question from an engineer's estimate standpoint, hey, what do you think?
Why would we have to rebid it? Can we do it as a change order?
No, because not all asphalt companies do concrete. And some would have prices this way for asphalt, just because they were cheapest on asphalt doesn't mean they'd be cheapest on concrete. And it's asphalt companies usually, many of them don't do concrete. It's a completely different system of installation and equipment.
Well, I mean, Leanne's not here. I mean, it is something we talked about and we decided not to do because we felt like we didn't want to, it would have increased the cost over the $3.5 million that we're talking about, but now we're finding out that it's not. I mean, I don't, maybe it is totally a feasible thing to do, but, given the way the numbers worked out, it wouldn't have been an unfeasible thing. So I just throw it out there. I did also mention that I was talking to the city of Racine in a professional capacity, and they do a lot of their roads in concrete for just exactly that reason, that it saves them a lot of time and effort and money over the life of the road. And that is it, and that they view it as a cost savings measure when you look at the whole life cycle instead of just the initial costs.
Thanks, I agree with Trustee Martel on that. If it was not a big deal, and Leanne feels like we could do it with our contractor, I'd like to see that.
Are we just listing future items or discussing
Yeah, right,
items
right.
I'm concerned about?
Okay.
That's a board action item too.
Well, I mean, we have very long trustee reports, it's going for 10 minutes long. I mean,
Yeah, but there's a difference between legal and like,
About the parking fee?
that wasn't the
So,
discussion of the report.
We had a discussion, so my future agenda item is something we just talked about in committee meetings today. We finally got our list of contracts that we do and do not have. I would like that to come to the board for a full discussion. I was surprised today that it didn't, after waiting for so long. We have some scopes of services, and there may be some requests to do some further. And I think the board would benefit from knowing what documents we have and don't have.
Okay, any other items for future?
Well, I mentioned the state up, they may want to, Metro Market is now going to be selling online, and there's interest on the sale of liquor, how that affects your licensing. It's something you may want to look toward the future, keeping up with that issue.
Legally, it has to be a face-to-face transaction, so we can get into that.
That'd be great.
Okay. Any other items? Okay, then we'll move into the item.
I close to go into closed session pursuant to state statutes 1985 sub E for deliberating on possible sale of the road fire station.
Second.
I'm going to
Trustee Linda.
Hi.
Trustee Bauer.
Yes.
Trustee Connor.
Aye.
Trustee McKay.
Yes.
Trustee Wilson. Yes. Trustee Zoll.
I'm already here, so.
4 minutes.
Or.
That's all it takes.
And this was May, part of May spring break. It's coming here. Wow.
Yeah.
What'd you do on May spring break?
Yeah. Well, they're engagement, so it is spring break.